I'd like to welcome you to the first ever show about my take on sports. It's going to be a weekly show where I talk about a wide range of sports topics, headlines from baseball to basketball to football to hockey to golf. You know, whatever the biggest sports headlines are this week. And I welcome feedback, I welcome comments. I ask that you keep them nice, not nasty, keep them clean. Because we'll probably have a lot of kids that read this as well, watch these as well, and let's just be nice about it. And each week, as we go through different sports and as we go through these topics, I'll add my own commentary. I'm big on numbers and big on details, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. If you don't, that's fine as well. Please let me know, and if there's something you think I can do better, I will do that. I will try to do that. We will try to grow as a show, you know, from the production standpoint. I've got people that are going to help me produce this video, put it online, and you know, we'll see where it goes. This is something I'd like to do for fun, and it's something I think will be fun. So with that, let's go ahead and kick it off with the first topic this week, which I think is kind of catching everybody. It's Linsanity. And for those of you that don't know, it's Jeremy Lin. He's a 6'3" point guard that plays for the Knicks right now that went to Harvard. And out of high school in Palo Alto, California, he was one of the top players in the state. One of the top players in the nation, as a matter of fact. They got no scholarship offers. And a lot of people seem to think it's because of his Asian persuasion, okay? And people think, you know, they're limiting him just based on that alone. And that may be true, but if it is, you know, it's kind of unfair. It was kind of unfair. He's been through 7 different NBA camps, not been able to stick with a team, and he was basically about to get put aside from the Knicks until a few key injuries happened. Carmelo Anthony went down, Iman Shumpert, another rookie for the Knicks, got hurt, and kind of, he needed somebody to fill in. Jeremy Lin, his first game, played substantial minutes and gave, I want to say 26 points, 25 points. From that point on, they realized that they had a guy that could score for him, could move the basketball for him. They could also market this guy. He's a real good kid. He just seems like a real nice guy, you know. And his first 6 starts, he had 146 points, which is the most ever for an NBA rookie over his first 6 starts in his career. I mean, we're talking Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, nobody. None of the biggest stars. It's pretty important. Now, of course, with that, he's a point guard. He runs full speed. He goes all out. He had 36 turnovers in those first 6 games as well. 6 turnovers a game, probably not something that, you know, you'd get excited about. But at the same time, if he's hitting threes, he's driving to the basket, if he's penetrating, he's drawing double teams, he's pulling guys away from other key guys so they can, you know, they can have their shots, create their shots, and help guys create shots, then guess what? It's worth it. Now, a lot of people are going to say this may not last, and it may not. But I think it's good with him being in New York. It's a media circus there, you know. He's going to get that hype, and it's going to keep feeding as long as he's playing well and the team plays well with him. A classic example of a guy that's kind of not getting his due because of the cities he plays in. He's played in Sacramento and Houston. You may know him, you may not. Kevin Martin. If you don't know that name, you're probably not a big basketball fan. Over the last 7 years, he's averaged 20-plus points a game. 20-plus points a game in 7 straight years. I don't know too many other guys in the NBA that's done that. So that kind of helps. That helps Jeremy Lin, you know, and the fact that he's a good guy. He seems to be a devout Christian. That's, you know, that's either here or there for you to decide how you look at that. But I think it's going to help him in, you know, with his attitude and his mental makeup as it relates to dealing with players and playing in this league. Okay, so with that, that's our first story. Our second story is the NBA All-Star Game. Coming up here in the next couple of weeks. I don't find much in the way of All-Star Games anymore. They used to be exciting to me when I was younger. I loved them. I really liked watching them. They were a lot of fun. It just kind of seemed to have a little excitement to it, you know. And I was watching NBA TV the other day, and I saw the 1987 NBA All-Star team, or All-Star Game. In that game, you had guys like Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, Larry Bird, Akeem Olajuwon, Dr. J's last All-Star game, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Charles Barkley. The list goes on and on and on. Out of the 24 guys in that game, 14 of them are in the Hall of Fame today. Now, that's not the most important part. Every All-Star game is going to have some Hall of Famers, going to have some big stars. That's kind of the point. My biggest thing is, out of all those guys I listed, all those guys I named, who in there is controversial off the court? Besides maybe Charles Barkley, I'll give you that. But these are some classy guys. The NBA is missing a lot of these guys. They still have guys like this, don't get me wrong, but not as many as it used to have. And I think we kind of feed that a little bit. So I would ask that everybody, kind of not buy into all that hype as strongly as like a lot of guys like you to. Buy into the guys that seem to do it the right way. If that's what you want from your league, buy into it that way and kind of help the league get along that way, And the dunk contests, last couple of years, you've had winners like Dwight Howard, Blake Griffin, the more excitable guys in the league, the guys that you're really going to get up for. There are 4 guys in this year's or slam dunk contest that you may not notice or recognize a single name. Okay, Chase Budinger, Paul George, Iman Shumpert, and Derek Williams. I know Derek Williams he's a high draft pick from Minnesota, and man, playing in a great situation in Minnesota with Kevin Love and Ricky Rubio. Those are the kind of guys, by the way, you may want to start paying more attention to. Ricky Rubio, highlight film every single night. Passing machine. Kevin Love, literally 30 and 15 every night. 30 points, 15 rebounds every night. So watch him. Derek Williams, he may kind of make a name for himself in this All-Star game, this slam dunk contest. The third thing I'd like to talk about is Randy Moss. Randy Moss is a guy that had all the talent athletically in the world. The guy could jump through the roof, was super fast, great hands. Played in a tough situation at Marshall to get noticed, but he still did. He was receiver of the year. In college at Marshall University back then was coming from 1AA to 1A, FCS now to FBS. This guy, check this out. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler. In 1998, he was a Rookie of the Year. 954 catches, 14,858 yards, and 153 touchdowns. This guy was a stat machine. Now, a lot of people think he may have been taking plays off. Every other play, if the ball wasn't coming his way, he wasn't going out to block. He wasn't going run downfield, kind of create any kind of diversionary, runs here and there. This guy's making a comeback. Okay. Now here's something interesting. You're talking about numbers. He never led the NFL in receptions, but he led the NFL in touchdowns 5 times. So what's that tell you? When he gets his balls, he runs. Now, if he's not getting thrown his balls, you know what I mean? The guy was a playmaker. He's the idea of a playmaker. He's the guy that you would like to have as the ultimate playmaker. He's 36, 37 now. Can he still make those plays? We don't know. When he last left the field, he was playing for the Patriots, and they kind of showed him the door. And in New England, you either play the right way or you don't play at all. So maybe Randy Moss. Maybe he's maybe we can get him onto a team somewhere, Bengals, Raiders, somebody like that. Raiders have had him before, but ultimately, I'm not sure this is gonna be a comeback. So the NFL, just like the NBA, is a good league at keeping players out that they don't want in, and Randy Moss may be one of them. So our fourth story, the Tiger Woods comeback. Okay. I like watching Tiger Woods play. I'm not a big fan of watching golf, but I will always watch if I know Tiger Woods is in a big tournament or it may have a big impact on my schedule. So his last tournament was the AT&T Pebble Beach National Pro-Am, which going into the last round, I want to say he's 6 shots back of Wee. And Phil Mickelson was a good couple shots back of that. Phil Mickelson, that last round, took over. Birdies, eagles, took over the tournament. He ended up winning this tournament. Now, that was Phil Mickelson's 40th tour win. 40 tour wins. That's a lot of tour wins, okay? To give you an idea how dominant Tiger Woods has been and how good he's been for the game of golf, Phil Mickelson has never been the number one player in golf. Never been the number one player in golf. His entire career, Tiger Woods has been that guy. Now, to put that into perspective, Greg Norman, one of the best golfers, but also one of the best choke artists in golf history. 7 years worth of number one rankings, 366 weeks of number one rankings. He won a total of 18 PGA Tour titles. So that kind of gives you some idea of how dominant Tiger was and how good, I mean, honestly, he is for the game of golf. Everything aside of it, his relationship off the golf course type incidents, I'm not really honestly worried about that. I don't respect the guy for it, but I'm not worried about it. He finished 9 shots back overall in this last tournament. I'm not sure if it's because of this that he's lost his edge, but it may be. It may be that he's lost his edge because he can't be that kind of guy. He was getting away with so much. He was the man in his head. So that played so much into what he was and who he was. I think it allowed him to play with an edge a little bit, little stronger as well. I think the PGA needs Tiger Woods, though. They need Tiger Woods, and I don't think you can argue that. So, my fifth story, probably last story, Peyton Manning. I didn't really care for Peyton Manning coming out of college. He played at Tennessee, and truth be told, I am a diehard, born and raised Alabama fan, born and raised on Alabama football. So Peyton Manning wasn't my favorite quarterback coming out of college. He got to the NFL, and boy, I respect that guy's game. Have for years. Early on, he wasn't winning a lot of playoff games, but massively winning in the regular season, putting up great numbers. And I can tell you right now, this guy has meant more to the game of football, especially since he won the Super Bowl. He's meant more to the NFL as far as the player goes commercially than any player has in probably the last 20 years. There's been nobody that's had as big an impact outside of just the game of football. So I hope Peyton Manning gets healthy. I hope we can have him around for another 2 or 3 years. I'd like to see the guy. He seems like a classy guy. He seems like a good guy for the game of football. And it sure would be nice to see him back on the field. Now, I don't know if he's going to come back and be the same player. He's been. I don't know if he'll be able to make those throws downfield or across his body or falling away. Peyton makes a lot of incredible throws just because of his body and his skill set. Does he still have that skill set? It'll be remain to be seen. And if he's healthy enough to come back anyway, he's had 4 surgeries over the last 2 years on his neck, and that